Hi, New Life Centre, Nambour. My name is Roxanne McArdle, and along with my husband George and my daughter Laura, we're on the worship team at Hope Centre in Brisbane at Bowen Hills. Love being on the worship team. Love that I'm one of the immature ones, but I believe it's very important that we are there as well to support and encourage the younger generation. We were privileged to have been able to lead worship at your service last year, and we were due to come back at Easter, but then we all went into this lockdown. Interesting times we're living in, hey? Isolation to a point. I'm privileged myself personally to be able to still work. So the title of this is Worship in Isolation. For me, when I think of worship, I think we all immediately think of music, singing along to CDs, getting our guitar out or a keyboard, which I love doing. I could spend hours on a keyboard or piano actually, but I don't have that or a guitar at the moment. I haven't had for a little while. So I either sing to myself in the room when no one's around, or I just listen to music myself. But when we think of worship, we still connect worship with music, don't we? Whether it's to a CD, watching on a DVD, or videos, or singing along in the car, in the shower, and we still sort of put that into the one basket. But I'm going to take it a little bit further, because I believe worship is not just about music, it's about lifestyle. And in Romans 12:1, we all know the passage where it says, "Therefore, brothers and sisters, in view of the mercies of God, I urge you to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true act of worship." And yes, the Psalms are full of come into his presence with thanksgiving, offer unto God, shout of praise. And we can do all that as well. But we can do all that while we're living and breathing our normal lives. And at the moment at home, being at home and not being able to go out and physically go out to church, it's probably a little bit more challenging. And for me, to live a lifestyle of worship is about pleasing God, isn't it? That's our act of worship, because we can sing, we can clap our hands, we can raise our hands, we can shandai till the cows come home. But if I'm not loving my husband as I should, and there are probably times I'm not, or loving my daughters and my son-in-law like I should, or my neighbor next door, or the cafe owner, and because I'm a little bit agitated and so I speak my mind, well, that's not really pleasing to God, is it? So all those things, I can, like I said, spend hours in worship and then turn around and behave badly. I believe God doesn't hear or answer our prayers when we're like that. I love what Lidell says, the famous runner, 1920s, and I quote, "In the dust of defeat, as well as the laurels of victory, there is a glory to be found if one has done his best. God made me fast, and when I run, I feel his pleasure." That's my challenge too. Do I feel his pleasure in what I do, in what I say? Whatever your gift is at home, in this time together with your family, or even if you're living by yourself, whatever you really enjoy doing, do it as unto the Lord. And if it pleases you, if you get excitement out of playing Scrabble, like I'm making my daughter do with me at the moment, then you know what? I guarantee God is also pleased. George spends his time creating music, and out of this COVID time is a beautiful worship song, followed by a lovely anointed bass solo in the end, which you will get to hear sometime soon when we come out of all this. That's pleasing to the Lord, because we are his children, and if we get pleasure out of it, how much more does God get pleasure out of it? You know, when we get excited about our kids, when they do something new and discover something new. One of my other daughters is doing a course, online course. My middle daughter is creative. She doesn't only play the drums, but she writes. She's a writer and a funny one, you know, so we get excited with her. So how much more God? So present your bodies during this time of isolation. Come to him and say, God, what can I do? God, I'm just going to sit and read my book because it brings me pleasure. You know, so I believe during this time of isolation, your best worship can be whatever you find your hand to do, and do it well, and do it as unto the Lord. Thank you for letting me share with you today and tonight. For whenever you watch this, I hope it encourages you, and I look forward to coming back to your service soon and having a great time and get together of praise and worship together as the body of Christ. Enjoy this time that you have, and remember, you're not stuck at home, you're safe at home. Bye.